Good evening. It is Wednesday, May 17th, 2023, and welcome to the Town of Carmel Town Board. This is our double meeting, our voting meeting and work session all in one. We have 16 items on our voting meeting and four on the work session. I am going to switch it up and call the work session first, because we have a couple of items that we want to vote on after. So I call the work session to order, and I ask that Councilman Lombardi please do the pledge. If everyone would please stand and face the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Just ask to remain standing for a moment of silence to remember those men and women who are fighting for our freedom each and every day.
Thank you. So we'll begin with our public comments. If anyone would like to get up, any resident or business owner wants to get up 5 minutes, just please tell us your name and where you live. Hi. Just so we can hear you.
Hi, my name's Noelle Harrison. I live in Mahopac, and I'm speaking to you today as a concerned citizen who has become very familiar with the research done by New York Citizens Audit, a nonpartisan, all-volunteer, 501c3 grassroots citizens education group. The Carmel Town Board has been emailed a copy of the New York Citizens Audit Study and Deficits Report and a customized resolution for an audit of the New York State 2022 general election for your review, along with several very informative videos and a response by New York Citizens Audit to a letter dated April 5th, 2023 that was seemingly sent to many town boards and county officials throughout New York State by Kristen Zabrowski-Stavinsky, the co-executive director of the New York State Board of Elections. Kristen Zabrowski-Stavinsky, by the way, is she's ultimately responsible for certifying the 2022 midterm election. All the New York Citizens Audit raw data was obtained by auditing the New York State voter databases, which were obtained directly from FOIL requests to the New York Board of Elections. FOIL requests to all 62 counties in New York State, although 19 counties did not respond to the FOIL requests, and the New York State Secretary of State official website. New York Citizens Audit has uncovered massive vote discrepancies and the clear presence of unnatural algorithmic patterns. All of this information, along with other reports and supporting data, can be found on their website, auditny.com. A summary of their findings is as follows. So this is the summary report of New York's 2020 general election, a study in deficits. And just so you know, the New York State Citizens Audit is a citizens group organized for the purpose of performing an open source audit of the New York State Board of Elections. And the three basic tenets of an election are: 1, voter rolls must be accurate; 2, votes counted must be from qualified voters; 3, the number of votes must equal the number of voters. So in the findings, as presented in the attached full report, a study of deficits, there were 2,427,827 New York State voter ID numbers attached to 1,170,790 registrants. There were 987,490 voters registered on January 1st from 1900 to 2021. There were 1.9 million registrations in the state voter rolls missing from the county rolls. There were 625,359 more registrations than voting-age citizens in just 6 counties. There were 740,396 ineligible votes statewide. There were 338,356 more votes cast than voters who voted in 2020. There were 195,271 votes cast in New York City that went missing in the New York State voter database. So the conclusions are that over 1 million felony violations of New York State election law. There were 95 state and federal legislative races impacted by 740,396 ineligible votes, which means that, like, the decision makers, they can't really prove that they won because of the number of ineligible votes. The New York State Board of Elections, whether by dereliction of duty or deliberate malfeasance, is unquestionably responsible for affecting election outcomes in New York. A full end-to-end audit by professionals and possibly law enforcement is warranted. Our data sources are New York State Board of Elections voter rolls provided October 21st in 2021. County voter rolls, not all counties have responded, like I said, to FOIL requests. And New York State Secretary of State official website. So the second speaker can come up. I think I'm running out of time.
Thank you for sharing that.
Hi, good evening. So this is a continuation of the same.
What is your name?
Adriana Wise. So I'm a resident of Carmel. All right, so I'm going to read this, and then if I have a little time at the end, I would like to try to explain briefly what the allegations are. So in New York State, the New York State voter database and our voting apparatus are part of our critical national infrastructure. New York Citizens Audit has provided evidence that our New York State voter database has been and is being manipulated. The question remains, who is doing the manipulating? Is it foreign interference? Is it domestic? Nobody knows. New York Citizens Audit, as a group, was told by a cyber intelligence expert that this manipulation indicates a total loss of control, data breach, which is the most severe type of breach recognized by our federal government. The burden to prove that our elections are accurate and comply with the laws is the statutory duty of our election officials. The officials who certified the 2022 general election have committed perjury at the very least, so according to the numbers that were read earlier. New York Citizens Audit information has been provided to state and federal officials, including the Attorney General, the Secretary of State, the State Board of Elections, the Inspector General, the FBI, the New York State Police, who, by the way, felt it was treason, but it was out of their jurisdiction, and so passed it on to the Foreign Intelligence Task Force, to the state leadership of the Democrat and Republican parties, county election officials, sheriffs, and district attorneys throughout New York State. So far, New York Citizens Audit has been met with indifference and inaction. As concerned citizens, we are asking our towns and villages to place statewide bottom-up pressure on our Putnam County and state officials through this resolution. We need to place pressure on the legislature, who are currently working on election law bills, to actually further erode our voting rights. Our national security, as well as our individual civil right to transparent and honest elections, are at stake. We understand that town boards do not legislate to the counties, but your constituents voted for you to be their voice. Our voices are not being heard. Concerned citizens are bringing the deficits report and a resolution to their town boards and other officials across New York State to support this end-to-end audit, which is the end goal of this. There's no financial liability to the towns. This will be funded at the state level. As of early May 2023, there are at least 140 requested resolutions and 12 signed resolutions to support the end-to-end audit, with more to come. We know that this situation is not of your making, nor does the Carmel Town Board have the authority to correct it. As our local representatives, we're asking you to adopt this resolution and push it further up the line to the legislative bodies that can correct it. This is the only way we, the people, can be assured that our voter rolls are corrected and will guarantee we have accurate elections in the future. So in conclusion, this is not a red issue or a blue issue. This is the United States of America, red, white, and blue issue. This affects all citizens nationwide, regardless of the political party, as the elected officials in New York State that can go on to the U.S. Senate and the U.S. Congress are voting on bills that affect our nation as a whole. We're hereby asking the Carmel Town Board for a vote of yea for your support on this resolution for an end-to-end audit of the New York State voter database. at the next public Carmel Town Board meeting. And again, more information can be found on the website, auditnewyork.com. So if I have a few moments at the end, since I read one of the documents based upon which these findings have been, or from where these findings have emerged, the way this works is once the New York State voter rolls were analyzed by the cybersecurity expert, they discovered that were a large number of New York State citizens whose voter ID was cloned, not just twice, not just 3 times, but sometimes multiple times. And now, this is not immediately observable once somebody gets a hold of the voter roll database because they're scattered throughout the database. The scattering is necessary for these duplicate voter IDs to be used for voting, but the scattering is also done according to an algorithm, to a sorting algorithm, right? So this took a lot of time in the making. This is the bottom line, and actually to end this on an anecdotic tone, when I went to vote for school board earlier this week, I discovered that my own single home address was registered as an apartment building. And this addition to my address has been done since the November 2022 elections. So obviously, I reported it to the Board of Elections, and it's going to be corrected, but how many people are paying attention? So,
Do you want to give the website again? That way, in case anybody wants to.
yes, so New York Citizens Audit, you can Google that, but the website is auditnewyork.com. NY, yes, auditny.com.
Thank you very much
All
for
right,
sharing.
thank you.
Appreciate your patriotism.
Thank you.
So I asked the town board to review the town board minutes from May 3rd, 2023. Our first item on the work session, we're starting with the work session because we have a couple of things that we have to discuss and vote on tonight. Rich, if you'd come up and do item number 1, Richard Franzetti, PE, Town Engineer. Consider request to accept proposal for additional engineering services, Lake Cassie and Tea Kettle Lake dams.
Thank you, Supervisor and town board members. The engineering proposal, as the board is aware, we solicited proposals from qualified engineering consultants to prepare bid documents and specifications and construction admin for Lake Cassie Tea Kettle Dam rehab. The board authorized Weston and Sampson to perform this work, and the work is required to meet New York State DEC requirements. Phase 1 included tree cutting, vegetation removal, upstream and downstream phases of the dams. And at that time, Weston and Sampson provided a status summary and the next step for Phase 2. Phase 2 of the project, Weston and Sampson was authorized to develop an engineering assessment, again, part of the New York State criteria, which included clearing of the outlet pipes, hydraulic analyses, metal grates, chain link fence, and for the primary spillway, geotechnical explorations, and video inspection of the riser spillways. A final supplemental engineering report for the dams has been provided by Weston and Sampson. Phase 2A, which was identified specifically for Lake Cassie, Weston and Sampson was authorized to perform additional borings in order to assess the liquefaction potential and slope stability of the dam. Weston and Sampson has completed that work, and the findings show that the original rehabilitation recommendation for Lake Cassie will need to be updated. They provided, in part of this submittal, a proposal in the amount of $5,000 to include the additional borings in the updated engineering assessment report and come up with a different alternative solution for meeting the state criteria. So the board should just note that the work is required again to meet state regulations, and that Phase 3 of the project will entail the development of the final design bid specifications documents for each of these dams. And Phase 3 of this work has not been funded and will need to be, bans would need to be issued, or we use ARPA funds, as we've discussed in the past. So we recommend that we get Weston and Sampson just to update the findings report so that we can have, move forward with the project.
Anybody have questions? So it's good to note, after you and I talked to Carl about all this, that by down, or, right, going from bringing the classifications down from the danger levels, that's going to save the town and the residents around the dam districts money,
Right.
because,
Correct.
so spending the 5,000 or whatever it takes to do additional borings is actually potentially a savings, because we can petition DEC on our order to consent to do less work.
Correct. The order consents on Lake Mahopac. However, yes, you're correct. The original, if the board may recall, the original assessment that was provided for Lake Cassie was to put in a metal dam in front of the existing dam, which was going to cost an extraordinary large amount of money. And, you know, because of this liquefaction at the dam, in case there was ever an earthquake, it can fail. But they went and did these additional borings as authorized by the board, and they were able to identify that you know, while liquefaction might occur, it's not going to occur at a level that the dam would fail, so.
So it's a good thing.
And so now the solution is going to be a little more straightforward on the grand scheme of things versus, you know, putting a whole dam in front of a dam.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense.
No.
So,
Thanks, Rich. Thank you, Rich. Our second item is from our Highway Superintendent, Michael Simone. He's requesting authorization for emergency purchase of 2023 CAM Superline 20-ton trailer. Sir?
Yes, good evening, Board. We are in our building season now, and earlier in the month of April, I got my first excavator. We picked up our second one to do both drainage work and follow up some of the work. Since I've been in office, since before 2000, we've always had two trailers. Coming out of the winter, we inspected the older one, which was the one I'm looking for. The newer one that we purchased was probably 3 years ago. I came before the board and asked to purchase one. We purchased a 25-ton trailer to take around the bigger excavator. But we always usually have two pieces of equipment out at all times, whether it's a backhoe or another mini excavator or the paver. So I do need two trailers. In the inspection this year, we found out that the under rails that the trailer rides on, we literally could put a hammer through it, unfortunately. Would not pass inspection, and at this point, we need another trailer just to be able to keep the crews working or whatever. So the reason for the emergency is that we just found this out. The other reason is that there is one in stock that we can get, or I will have to wait upwards of at least 6 months to get another trailer, so. There is one in Dutchess Truck and Trailer, who were the low bidders, and they have one in stock. And if I can get this through and we get the resolution, we can have a trailer in our yard within the next week and a half.
So the part of the emergency is the supply chain, that we need to
It's
act
a supply chain
now.
and the fact that, yeah, we're going to need one so that I can keep both crews working. So, because I do have to move two pieces of equipment at a time. So otherwise, I'm going to tie up a trailer and be moving stuff all the time.
And this is
a little
drainage
difficult.
work and like you're doing on Wixon and Elm and all
Yeah.
that? And
Yep. It's what I do every year, you know, and I have to move backhoes if I've got another crew, I'll go out and do it. I mean, again, we do drainage with one crew, but we'll do a lot of repair work. We'll repair a lot of catch basins with another one. Or I'll have another crew out doing blacktop work where I can put the paver is a track paver, have to carry it on a trailer, take it out with the rollers. So, I mean, again, 2 trailers is the minimum, you know, we need with 35 men out there. I just believe so.
How old was the old one?
The one that we're replacing now, I believe it was 2006.
Mike, when didn't it pass inspection? Like, when was
Now,
the inspection up?
We were going through and inspecting it now. We have to bring it in, we raise it up, we go through all the lights and all the brake chambers and everything. But we went through this time, which we do usually, but we started tapping on the steel structure, and it had a hole in it, so. And that's, you can't weld or do any of those, to that thing, so it would not pass inspection, so.
anybody else have,
And we have funding in place for this. I'm not asking for any outside funding. comes within the budget, so.
Okay.
And you can't make do with the one while we go and do the process of going through it non-emergency?
Unfortunately, I would say no, because no matter what, I mean, if I can't get this trailer, if I've got to wait 6 months, I'm out of building season, it's over. Again, I only have 16 weeks to build. you
No,
know,
but what I'm
and
saying with the
unfortunately-
one trailer you have, you can't, I mean, I don't know
Well, again,
machinery, you
it
know.
it goes with, usually with one crew during the day. So that if I'm moving one piece, I'd have to literally take a crew and break it down, and the other crew would have to wait until I broke it, till I got able to move the next piece of equipment. So now it becomes a logistical problem, where I'm gonna have guys, sitting around doing nothing because they don't have a piece of equipment they can use.
And if that should go out of service, then you have nothing.
Well, yeah, the new one I do not, the new one is, it's a very good trailer. They're made a lot better, more. This has got an epoxy undercoating on it. I had the men, two of the mechanics go out and look at all these trailers, and the one that I'm suggesting, being low bid, also has an epoxy undercoating, which the other ones, the old ones have not had, so. And we do now, all our newer trucks and everything, we do coat them here. Not only do they come with a coating from manufacturer, but anything we see, we coat now before it even goes out, so. We're trying to make things last longer.
I don't have any other questions. Anybody?
No, I have
No?
questions.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the third item was Police Chief Anthony Hoffman, consider authorizing acceptance of proposal for Everbright for Public Communication Services, Town of Carmel. The chief sent us all this memo about reverse 911 notifications. He says in his memo that a recent incident himself and Lieutenant Dearman saw that would have benefited if we had a reverse 911 notification system. They researched the area, and they saw that Nixle, which is used by local jurisdictions, he says Yorktown, but also I've seen it in a lot of the Northern Westchester departments. In contacting the company, they found out that they have a new product called Everbright. So we did a Zoom, a couple of Zooms with Everbright to see their capabilities. Everbright is a function on your mobile phone. They have a app. It can send text messages, SMS messages. It also can send out on social media. It sends to people with voice over IP and landline connections. It far exceeds the text that the town now uses. We have our text alerts and our email alerts. The chief says it far exceeds that. The engineering department can use it, the assessor for tax-related stuff, the supervisor's office for community events, and the town board, the police department for public safety and traffic notifications, highway can notify for trees down and road work. It sends out an alert similar to an Amber Alert. It has geo-mapping in it, which if there was some hazard, something that in your neighborhood or my neighborhood, something you needed to know, it would go to your phone whether you had the app or not, like an Amber Alert. It was pretty impressive. So they provided the town with a comprehensive notification package, which he's attached here, and we did do the demo. He would like the board to consider the agreement with Everbright Systems for a 3-year term. The cost would be $8,894.92 per year for the first year, and the setup fee is $711.59. The police department will work with the town comptroller, Mary Ann Maxwell, to facilitate the purchase, and it would come from our IT line, and it would be used by the water main breaks and all that. So, you all have the proposal in hand.
So Mike, so what So we don't have to opt in, like, they automatically know all of our cell
It's-
phone numbers?
Well, they don't know your cell phone number. It'll go from the tower, so it goes to the tower wherever the problem is, it'll go to the towers and hit every cell phone in that area. So if there was something really bad that you needed to know, it would just go to, like an Amber Alert goes. They don't know your number for an Amber Alert. It
Okay.
just goes to every phone.
Whether a
So-
resident or not, it'll go to your phone.
It'll go to your
That
phone. You
area.
could be
Right.
driving through from Vermont, and it's gonna hit
And
your
it's gonna
phone.
go, so now let me ask you something, so let's say something like a water main break or whatever, and you're down at work, down county, and you
If
know,
you
like
opt in,
now-
you'll get that.
So you can opt in for it?
You can opt in, and it's an app, and you'll get, and also on it'll send it
Okay.
on our social media
Yeah.
and Recreation social media, whichever social media, it'll go
Okay.
out to that.
Because I know I opt in for the one that we currently have, and it's awesome.
But this is
So,
like,
yeah, I mean, this looks, this
and it will
looks
send a
great.
color map too of, so to your phone, you'll get a map of, if there's a problem, you know, they can draw it around the lake and say, you know, there's,
So
I don't
you
know,
can just
whatever.
opt in for everything?
for
I'm
everything,
assuming, right?
as much as you want, yeah.
Okay.
Is
It's
that
it's
in
really
addition
nice.
to what we have now, or that's gonna replace?
It'll replace the
Should
text that we have
replace
now.
it, I would
Yeah.
hope.
Because the text system that we're using now is very old and antiquated. It's not, this is super high-tech stuff.
And then there'll be specific users, because I'm sure like the police department's not gonna want
Yeah.
input when we're having a community event, you know, like an e-waste or something like that.
Yeah, but we'll be able to push it out to the people that opt in
That opt
to know
in.
about events. Yeah, you'll be able to pick what you want.
Okay,
You know who uses it too is Kristen McConnell's Putnam, what's it, the drug thing called Putnam Prevention Council. Their events, we had gotten that, I think I texted it to the board, that you can opt in for their events, which I clicked for. So I think it's worthwhile, think about it, and I think that
yep,
it would be a
perfect.
good thing.
All right, thank you.
Our fourth item, Colonel. John R. Fulchetti, PE Engineering Consultant, consider request to award bid Birch Road Drainage Rehabilitation Contract C289. Sir?
Thank you, sir. John R. is my dad.
Oh,
I'm John E.
well, I didn't type this, sorry.
We're here to talk about the award of the Birch Road Drainage Rehabilitation Project. We bid the job on Wednesday, the 11th. We had a total of 5 general contractors attend the mandatory pre-bid meeting. We got 2 responses. So the response rate was 40%, which is not bad. It was a very specialized job. Both of the respondents were contractors that are known both to us and to the town. The low bid was by Arrow Contracting. They're up in Kingston, Sumner for $697. And the number 2 bid was from Pan Enterprises out of Goshen, $1.295 million. That looks like a pretty broad discrepancy. Is that better? Like I said, it looks like a pretty broad discrepancy, but we spoke with both contractors immediately after taking the bids. Harold is solid with their number. A kind of funny thing happened with TAM. They were going to sub out the actual lining portion of the work, which is the bulk, it's the main intent of the project. So they got a number that was about half of the Arrow number, or the Arrow number, about 390, 400. And then they added the remainder of the general construction work, and they should have been at around 750. This is like the chief operating officer telling us this. Well, as the thing progressed from the bid preparer, the estimator, all the way up the chain of command through the ownership, the additives the multipliers just kept getting added on. So their confession on the phone to us was that they should have been in the mid-750s. So the reality of it is we got a $700,000 bid and a $750,000 bid that got bastardized as part of their process. The contractor, the low contractor, Harold, wrote the book that we based the specification on. They wrote the ASTM standard, or they didn't write it themselves, but they were co-authors on the ASTM. We're here tonight, this quickly after the bid, because this is pretty time sensitive. we're going to be bypassing, this culvert carries a live stream, and it's rotten throughout. And it looks like June, July, and August, right now, the forecast is that they're relatively dry, which is going to help minimize our bypass pumping operations so that we can work the entire project in the dry. So in a nutshell, I'm requesting that we award the project to Harold Contracting for $697,000 as soon as you can. And then we'll get notification out tomorrow. And we should be ready to sign a contract, I would think, 10 days after notice of award is issued. The bonds will come as soon as I'll demand them as soon as we issue notice of award, and hopefully we can get them in hand, reviewed, and approved in time to sign a contract within 10 days, and then we can go to work in June. Questions?
Do either you or Mike want to just speak about, this is 5-6 foot pipe,
So what
1950s
this
collapsing?
is really, it's old corrugated metal pipe. It's currently elliptical in shape, but originally it was a 48-inch diameter circle that, because the stream was shallow and it ran through yards, when it was installed, it was crushed from a perfect circle into an ellipse. And it's corrugated metal. It's been in service for, I don't know, 60 years, 70 years, probably. And it's rotten. I mean, actually, Mike and Rich had the thing videoed fall of 01, 21, I mean. And, you know, the perforations in the bottom of the pipe are this size or larger.
Yeah.
So, and it runs through everybody's yard. The entire route, except for where it crosses streets, is underneath, 50 or 60 years worth of memories, which is why we're lining it, right? There's statues of the Virgin and fountains and porches and decks. Well, I
Sheds.
mean, it's just, a lifetime worth of development in these backyards. So digging a thing up to replace it's really not a viable alternative.
Thank you. And then the ARPA money, just so everyone remembers, the county gave us $670,000 for
Right,
this.
so you're near 100% cover.
Yeah. So after, when all's said and done, another $300,000 in different work that we have to do, that we'll have to come up with, but it's still,
Right,
pretty
but
good.
we're at 697, so you have 670 covered. I mean, there's $27,000
Yeah.
that are coming out of Hyde, not $1 million. So
It's much better.
this is a very, very good bid.
And it has to be done.
Yes, it has to be done.
The real prompt for this was the sinkholes that were developing in people's yards, and, the next sinkhole obviously is gonna come in a road someplace, so this thing is in failure mode right now.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so that's the last item on the work session. Which item?
The trailer.
You just did it.
In my very well-organized packet, it was not as organized as I thought.
Okay. So while she's handing this out, can I get a motion to close the work session?
So moved.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the work session is now closed. Yeah, that's the study. That other part was just the,
This is what I was confused, because I was trying to find, like, where is this information? In my chat. It's in the trunk. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Ask a question about one of these because
can you wait till we open the meeting? Thanks. So. Oh, I'm about to do that now. I'm going to ask Ann. So the, yeah, so we have our work session. We're going to go now to our regular work session. And like Councilwoman McDonough said, can somebody make a motion to open it?
I'll second.
Work the voting
Right,
session.
The voting session, yep. Seconded by Channel and Lombardi. And all those in favor?
Aye.
And our wonderful town clerk that sat through this, could you do us a roll call attendance for this meeting?
Councilman Baranowski. Here. Councilman Lombardi.
Here.
Councilwoman McDonough. Here. Councilman Channel.
Here.
Supervisor Kazari.
Here. If you, ma'am, if you wanted to make a public comment, just say your name again, please.
is Noelle Harrison. I just had a quick question about the Eventbrite service that you were talking about before?
Everbridge? Yeah?
Sorry,
Yeah.
Everbridge. Would that require any like additional towers to be built with any kind of new technology, or is it just kind of coming over from the last service?
It goes over the internet through, and it goes to the cell towers, and it,
Okay,
Yeah.
so I was just wondering if there's any additional new cell towers that are going to be built by homes or anything like that?
no, we
that
don't,
never-
no, none of that has to,
Okay.
it's just, it's kind of like you're texting from your
Right.
phone
Yep. Same
or
thing.
sending Facebook from your phone. It's
Right,
going to be
okay.
the same service.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you. So can I get a motion to accept the town board minutes from April 19th, 2023?
So moved.
Seconded by Baranowski and McDonough. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, minutes accepted. Our first resolution is making proposal probationary appointment of park maintenance worker in the town of Carmel, Department of Recreation and Parks. Councilman Lombardi, could you read that one for us?
Sure. Resolve the Town Board of Town of Carmel hereby appoints Joseph Mercurio of Mahopac, New York, to the position of maintenance worker in the Parks and Recreations Department, effective May 22nd, 2023, on a provisional probationary basis at a CSEA Group 5, Step 1, salary level, subject to the provisions of civil service law and civil service rules and regulations. I offer this resolution as read.
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Can we please have a roll call?
Councilman Baranowski. Yes. Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes.
Councilman Shannon.
Yes.
Supervisor Kazari.
Yes. So congratulations, Joseph. Our second resolution is making appointment to Town of Carmel Environmental Conservation Board. Councilman Shannon?
Resolved that the town board of the town of Carmel hereby reappoints Robert Laga to the town of Carmel Environmental Conservation Board for a term commencing June 14th, 2023, and expiring June 13th, 2026. I offer this resolution as read.
Second?
A second by Councilwoman McDonough. Can we have a roll call on that? Do I
Councilman
need
Baran-
one? Do I not need one?
I'm sorry?
Do I not need one?
I would do one.
Yeah, do I need one? Yeah, please.
Councilman Baranowski.
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes.
Councilman Shannon.
Yes.
Supervisor Kazari.
Yes, congratulations, Bob. You do a very good job on that ECB board. We appreciate you. Our third resolution is making appointment to the Lake Secor Park District Advisory Committee. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby appoints Caitlin Parada to the Lake Secor Park District Committee, effective immediately, serving at the pleasure of the board. I offer this as read.
Second.
Seconded by Shannon and McDonough. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Well, welcome on board, Caitlin. The fourth resolution is authorizing mailing of Lake Secor Park District newsletter. Councilwoman McDonough, could you read that?
Sure. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, acting as the Commissioners of the Lake Secor Park District, hereby authorizes the mailing of the annual newsletter as prepared by the Lake Secor Park District Advisory Committee to all properties within the district, and further directs that the cost thereof be charged as a district expense. I offer this resolution as read.
Seconded.
Seconded by Baranowski. Could we have a roll call?
Councilman Baranowski.
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi. Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes.
Councilman Shannon.
Yes.
Supervisor Kazari.
Yes, Resolution 4 passed. Our fifth resolution is setting the rates for 2023 seasonal employees, Lake Secor Park District. Councilman Baranowski, could you read that?
Certainly. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, acting as the Commissioners of the Lake Secor Park District, hereby sets the following rates for lifeguards in 2023. For the head lifeguard, $21 per hour. For lifeguards, $18.50 per hour. And for new lifeguards, $16 per hour. I offer this resolution as read.
Second?
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Could we have a roll call on that?
Councilman Baranowski.
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes.
Councilman Shannon.
Yes.
Supervisor Kazari.
Yes. Number 5 passed. Our sixth resolution is amending the 2023 user fee schedule. Councilman Lombardi, could you read that?
Resolve the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby amends, effective immediately, the Town of Carmel user fee schedule for fiscal year 2023 as form is attached hereto and made part hereof. I offer this this resolution is read.
Second?
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Can we have a roll call?
Councilman Baranowski?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Shano?
Yes.
Supervisor Kazari?
Yes. That user fee, the electric vehicle charging stations, the four of them are supposed to be coming online this Friday, the 19th. We had to set the kilowatt per hour rate for use of those electric charging stations, so that was,
It's
that was about,
indicated here,
yeah, right there,
so it's
the highlighted part.
25 cents per kilowatt hour.
Right, to charge your vehicle in a Type 2 charger.
And for a full 1 hour, full charge will be $10 per hour, right?
No,
What
that's
does it
that's if you don't move your
No,
car.
that's if you
after
don't.
that.
say? If you leave the car there,
If you leave your car.
Storage fee.
Yeah.
okay, a storage fee. Thank you.
So our seventh resolution is accepting proposal for professional services grant writing. Councilman Shannon?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby accepts the proposal of Millennial Strategies LLC, Morrison, New Jersey, for grant writing services to the Town of Carmel at a cost not to exceed $36,000 annually, and be it further resolved that upon presentation of insurance certificates in the form acceptable to Town Council, Town Supervisor Michael Kazari is hereby authorized to execute any and all documentation reasonably necessary to effectuate the purchase authorized hereunder, and be it further resolved that the Town Controller, Mary Ann Maxwell, is hereby authorized to make any and all necessary budget transfers or modifications required to fund the cost of this authorization. I offer this resolution as read.
Second?
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Can we have a roll call, please?
Councilman Baranowski?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Shano?
Yes.
Supervisor Kazari?
Yes. And Dave Jenkins, if you're watching like you were last week, this is our breakthrough year. I would like to see some
Big money.
Big awards.
big awards
Big
this time.
awards.
So
Got
get
a
it
lot
done.
going on.
Get it done. Our eighth resolution is resolution acknowledging emergency repairs for Carmel Water and Sewer Districts. Resolve the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, acting as commissioners of the various water and sewer districts of the Town of Carmel, hereby acknowledges the emergency performance of water and sewer district collection system, distribution system, and treatment facilities repairs as fully detailed in the memorandum of Town Engineer Richard J. Franzetti, P.E., to the Town Board dated April 27, 2023, as attached hereto and made a part hereof. I offer this resolution as read.
Second?
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. And if you could, a roll call.
Councilman Baranowski?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi? Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Shano?
Yes.
Supervisor Kazari?
Yes, resolution number 8 passed. The ninth resolution is accepting proposals for professional services. Councilwoman McDonough, could you read that?
Sure. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, upon the recommendation of Town Engineer Richard J. Franzetti, P.E., hereby accepts the proposal of Larry L. Lynn, Land Surveyor, P.C., of Wappinger Falls, New York, for the provision of surveying services for the preparation of as-built survey drawings for the Oak Brook subdivision and Julia Levine Wright subdivision, in accordance with the proposal dated April 17, 2023, at a cost not to exceed $20,000. And be it further resolved, the Town Supervisor, Michael Kazari, is hereby authorized to sign any and all documentation necessary to authorize the actions contained herein. And be it further resolved that Town Comptroller Mary Ann Maxwell is hereby authorized to make any and all necessary budget transfers or modifications required to fund the cost of this authorization. I offer this resolution as read.
Seconded.
Seconded by Baranowski. Can we have a roll call?
Councilman Baranowski?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Shano?
Yes.
Supervisor Kazari?
Yes, it's unfortunate that the highway super left because this was the one that was near and dear to him. Number 10 is a resolution authorizing the advertisement for bids. Councilman Baranowski, could you read that?
Resolved that Town Engineer Richard J. Franzetti, P.E., is hereby authorized to advertise for bids for the Lake Mahopac Dam Rehabilitation Project as required by the existing order on consent entered into with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation as authorized May 13th, 2020, and be it further resolved that upon finalization and completion of bid specifications, the town engineer is to furnish detailed specifications for the above to Town Clerk Ann Spofford, which are to be used in conjunction with the town's general bid conditions and specifications. I offer this resolution as read.
Second?
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Number 10 passed. Our 11th resolution is approving amendments to engineering services agreement, Carmel Water District's tank rehabilitation. Councilman Lombardi, could you read this one?
Whereas the, whereas the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, acting as Commissioners of Carmel Water District Number 2, 3, 8, 9, and 14, hereby had previously accepted the proposal of Weston and Sampson, Reading, Massachusetts, for the provision of design, bid assistance, and construction administration services for water storage tank rehabilitation in the referenced water district on November 6, 2019. Now therefore be resolved, Town Board of the Town of Carmel, acting as Commissioners of the referenced water districts, and upon the recommendation of Town Engineer Richard J. Franzetti, P.E., hereby accepts and approves the amendments 2 and 3 to the scope of services to be rendered by Weston and Sampson for design, bid assistance, and construction administration services in said projects. And be it further resolved that amendment number 2 is approved at an increase of $2,900, and amendment number 3 is approved at a cost of $69,500 as contained in the proposal dated April 4, 2023, and April 13, 2023, attached hereto and made part hereof. And be it further resolved, the Town Controller Mary Ann Maxwell is hereby authorized to make any and all necessary budget transfers or modifications required to fund the cost of this authorization. I offer this resolution as read.
Second?
Seconded by Shannon. Can we get a roll call?
Councilman Baranowski?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Channel?
Yes.
Supervisor Kazari?
Yes. Number 11 passed. So this one, it is as on file in the,
Filed, yeah, this is for the borrowing for $900,000 for road repaving, subject to a permissive referendum. So then you can offer it as pre-filed with the town clerk if you'd like.
Ditto.
so when he gets to section 1, he says as, yeah. So that's what you say. Yeah, as on file with the, yep. Councilman Shannon, would you read the resolution authorizing, subject to permissive referendum, the issuance of $900,000 bonds for the town of Carmel, Putnam County, New York, to pay the cost of the road reconstruction and resurfacing throughout and in for the town of Carmel?
Whereas the capital project herein after described has been determined to be a Type 2 action pursuant to the regulations of New York State Department of Environmental Conservation promulgated pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act, the implementation of which is, as proposed, such regulations provide will not result in any significant adverse environmental impact. And whereas it is now desired to authorize such capital project and the financing thereof, now therefore be it resolved by affirmative vote of not less than 2/3 of the total voting strength of the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, Putnam County, New York, as follows. Section 1, road reconstruction and resurfacing throughout in and for the Town of Carmel, Putnam County, New York, including drainage, sidewalks, curbs, gutters, landscaping, grading, or improving rights-of-way, as well as other incidental improvements and expenses in connection therewith, is hereby authorized at a maximum estimated cost of $900,000, subject to permissive referendum. I would also like to offer this resolution as is filed with the town clerk and as read.
Second.
Seconded by Lombardi. A roll call if you could.
Councilman Baranowski?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Channel?
Yes.
Supervisor Kazari?
Yes, number 12 passed. The 13th resolution is a resolution authorizing, subject to permissive referendum, construction of drainage improvements throughout and in and for the town of Carmel, Putnam County, New York, at a maximum estimated cost of $200,000, and authorizing the issuance of $200,000 bonds for the town of Carmel to pay the cost thereof. Whereas the capital project hereinafter described has been determined to be a Type 2 action pursuant to the regulations of New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, promulgated pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act, the implementation of which, as proposed, such regulations provide will not result in any significant adverse environmental impact, and whereas it is now desired to authorize such capital project and its financing, now therefore be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, Putnam County, New York, the following as listed and published on file in the office of the town clerk. Is that good? I offer this resolution as read.
Second?
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, no, we can't. Roll call, please.
Councilman Baranowski?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi? Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Chano?
Yes.
Supervisor Kazari?
Yes. Thank you. The 14th resolution is awarding bid Birch Road Drainage Rehabilitation Contract, contract number 289. Councilwoman McDonough?
Sure. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Carmel has previously authorized advertisement for the solicitation of bids for the Birch Road Drainage Rehabilitation Project, contract number C-289, and whereas such bids were received and opened on May 11, 2023. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, upon the recommendation of engineering consultant J. Robert Polchetti and Associates, LLC, as fully detailed in the memorandum dated May 12, 2023, hereby awards the aforesaid contract to Aerold Construction Company, Inc., Kingston, New York, the lowest responsible bidder, meeting specifications at a cost not to exceed $697,000. And be further resolved that upon presentation of insurance certificates in form acceptable to Town Council, Town Supervisor Michael Kazari is hereby authorized to sign any and all documentation necessary for the execution of all contract documentation required in connection herewith. Be further resolved, the Town Comptroller, Marion Maxwell, is hereby authorized to make any budget transfers or modifications required pursuant to this authorization. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Shannell. And a roll call vote when you get a chance.
Councilman Baranowski?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi? Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Chano?
Yes.
Supervisor Kazari?
Yes. Number 14 passed. Number 15 is determination and finding of the Carmel Town Board, RE, proposed acquisition of certain properties by eminent domain in furtherance of the public purpose for providing and constructing a new water treatment plant facility for Carmel Water District Number 2 and the residents and users located within such district. Councilman Baranowski, could you read that?
Sure. So I'm going to read the first couple of paragraphs and then offer by, as filed. Whereas the Carmel Town Board pursuant to Article 2 of the Eminent Domain Procedural Law advertised and held a public hearing on Wednesday, May 3rd, 2023, on a project involving the construction of a new water treatment plant facility for Carmel Water District Number 2, said hearing having been held to discuss the proposed acquisition of the real property and improvements located at 1760 Route 6 in the town of Carmel, also known and designated as Town of Carmel, tax map number 55.6, Block 1, Lot 31, and whether such proposed acquisition is in furtherance of the public purpose of providing and constructing a new water treatment plant facility for Carmel Water District Number 2 and the residents and users located within such district. And whereas the Town of Carmel Town Board received both comment and documents at the public hearing, and whereas the eminent domain procedural law requires that the Town Board, within 90 days after the conclusion of a public hearing, make determinations and findings concerning the project. Now therefore be it resolved that the Carmel Town Board hereby makes the following determination and findings. Number one, no objection was expressed to the project at the public hearing. The public use, benefit, or purpose to be served by the proposed public project is to provide a location for the construction of a new water treatment plant facility for Carmel Water District Number 2. I offer the rest of this resolution as pre-filed.
Second?
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. We get a roll call, please.
Councilman Baranowski?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Shannon?
Yes.
Supervisor Kazari?
Yes.
I just wanted to add that this pretty much sums the Carmel Water District 2 rehabilitation with the water lines and the water towers, and this will be the last step in the process. And I would also like to thank the prior town board for getting this started, taking the actions they did. They saved us a lot of money by bonding the funding at the time they did. So I just wanted to thank them also, and all those that made this happen.
Thank you. Number 16 is a resolution acknowledging and authorizing emergency purchase, Town of Carmel Highway Department. Councilman Lombardi, would you read that?
Resolve the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, and upon the recommendation and request of Town of Carmel Highway Superintendent Michael J. Simone, hereby authorizes the purchase of a 2023 CAM Superline 8.5 times 20 plus 5, 20-ton trailer from Hudson River Truck and Trailer, Poughkeepsie, New York, at a cost not to exceed $29,887, in accordance with the price quote dated May 4, 2023, and be it further resolved that such purchase is made upon advised that same is an emergency circumstance under General Municipal Law, Section 103, subsection 4, affecting public buildings, public property, or life, health, and safety of property of the town of Carmel, and be it further resolved, the town supervisor, Michael Kazari, is hereby authorized to sign any and all documentation necessary to accept the proposal authorized herein, and be it further resolved, the town controller, Mary Ann Maxwell, is hereby authorized to make any and all necessary budget transfers or modifications required to fund the cost of this authorization. I offer this resolution as read.
Second?
Seconded by Councilman Shannon, and a roll call again.
Councilman Baranowski?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Shannon?
Yes.
Supervisor Kazari?
Yes, number 16 passed. So that is the end of all those. On to comments. Friday, May 19th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., NYSEG is going to be doing what they're calling pop-ups. There'll be customer service representatives from NYSEG here at Carmel Town Hall on Friday, the 19th, from 10 to 2, and you can come in and ask them your questions, your bill. You want to talk about the smart meter program, please, everyone is welcome. Take advantage of this. On Saturday, the 20th, our Assemblyman, the 94th District, Assemblyman Matt Slater, he is going to be honoring women of distinction in our area. I know that one of our town legislators, Amy Sage, will be here to receive a proclamation and an award. On Monday, the 22nd, from 12 to 4 here at Town Hall, we have a medication take-back in conjunction with the Prevention Council of Putnam, which I was trying to remember, they use Everbridge, and it wasn't coming to me, but individuals can dispose of prescription medication, over-the-counter, even pet medication, here at Town Hall on Monday, the 22nd, bless you, from 12 to 4. Town Hall will be closed for Memorial Day on the 29th, and the next town board meeting, they wrote it down for me, June 7th. Anybody else have comments?
This coming Saturday is supposed to be a street fair in the hamlet of Carmel. However, the weather on Saturday looks a little iffy, so there is a rain date for the following Saturday. So right now, it's 50-50 if that's going to go forward or not. The determination will be made tomorrow morning based upon the outlook for the weather overnight. So stay tuned. It's usually a great event, but I think with the weather, it may not go forward. But if it doesn't go forward this week, it'll go forward next Saturday,
The 27th.
the 27th.
Bob?
I have nothing.
Yeah, I just have one announcement. I believe it's starting tomorrow. The bridge on Drewville Road is going to be closed down, I think until the fall, I think until October. So they're going to have detours. I know one of the detours is down Cherry Lane or around. So just so you know, to prepare, if you do use that road to go to work or anything, or to come home from work, it is going to be closed off starting tomorrow.
Just one, this is our last May meeting. I just wanted to remind the public, Memorial Day services we do have in both Mahopac and in the Hamlet of Carmel.
On the 11th hour.
In the parade.
Oh, yes, and the parade. We have the parade at 10:30 through the hamlet of Mahopac. Yes, thank you. There's one executive session item, personnel, that I want to discuss with the board. I promise to be quick. So if I can get a motion to close the meeting. A second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much,
Good night,
Jan.
everyone.
Thank you for sitting through that.
Thank you for coming.